by Mercury Insurance. I'm Chris McGee. Big game, James Worthy, Mike Bresnan. We got Allie and Trudell down at the arena, and it is a big one tonight. Got through a couple of ones like the Nets and the Wizards and the Pacers, and now come the Cavs. Big game.
Yeah, a continued test for the Lakers. They've passed with straight A's this far with the record they had on the road, and then coming back and playing a subpar team, a tough game, you know, mentally, get back home, relax. They overcame that. Now we're with Cleveland, you know, with the addition of Harden. Mobley's playing very well. Those guys, the three of those, in addition to Donovan, have, you know, averaging 20 points apiece almost. They've been playing very well, won several games of late. So, yeah, it's just another test before they have Oklahoma, and so this is a big test, like the finals, before they get into the playoffs. So, Brez, it's that time of the year.
Yeah, it's the last day in March. You can finally exhale. Keith, there's been a lot of games this month. And this month told me a lot about the Lakers. You know, we were talking starting early February, almost right before the All-Star break. Hey, March is going to be a tough month, and the way they flew through this month. Like James said, they're passing things with flying colors, man. Fun team to watch right now.
All right, guys, let's get to it. They will not be at full strength, though, tonight. Unfortunately, here's the report for tonight's game. Luka Doncic is available. LeBron James, questionable. They're calling it a game-time decision, so keep your fingers crossed. Hopefully we know soon. And Marcus Smart will remain out. Fifth straight game with that ankle issue. So the top story, though, Luka's back after missing last night's game. He's had an incredible month of March, and let's be honest, an extra day of rest is a great thing. Expectations, James, he just continues to do what he's doing. He's going against Donovan Mitchell and James Harden, the Cavs, and he's been extraordinary.
And even though they, you know, the Wizards were a little light and not a good team, he still kind of feels a little bit guilty that he wasn't there. You know, he missed the game, let his teammates down. They're close-knit now. But I do think when they're missing players, they are now starting to understand that they have a system. They can plug in players and still get the job done, and hopefully that'll be the case tonight without Marcus Smart. But when you get Luka back, that's like getting two players back, you know what I mean? The way he's been playing and put himself into the conversation most valuable player. I know it's you know, it's going to be interesting to see how that unfolds, but he's in the conversation the way he's been playing, Brez.
James, I really enjoyed listening to J.J. Redick the other night. And he basically said, you know, Luka has had an amazing run in the month of March, and it really has to do with a lot of it is his fitness. He's in great shape, and J.J. said this might be the best shape he's in March since his first or second year in the NBA. And we're talking a long time ago, and this is a credit to Luka. You know, he sensed weakness in himself during the offseason, you know, several months ago, and we documented it over and over during the offseason, where we're starting to read these stories in GQ and The Wall. Really? Are these sports publications? They're writing about Luka's incredible off-season regimen, and now we're still seeing the fruits of that. A lot of the NBA is starting to fatigue. It's been a long season for a lot of teams. Not Luka Doncic. He looks healthy, and he's ready to go, no doubt about it.
Second part of this is the Lakers have a chance to clinch a playoff spot tonight. The magic number is 1, either a Suns loss or a Lakers win, so you want to get it on the winning side. Also, James and Brez, a chance to get to 50 wins tonight for the second consecutive season, and you can end this incredible month 15-2, so a lot of motivation going into tonight.
A lot of motivation going into tonight's game, clinching a playoff spot. You do want to do that with a win, and, you know, it's just a positive feeling, and that should be something that I'm sure that the coaching staff will remind them of tonight. There'll be a lot of emphasis on that. If they need a little bit more extra incentive to come out, you shouldn't against this good Cleveland team, but they will have that on their minds. They've done well so far. They've you know, clinched all the playoffs, all the tiebreakers. They're in third place for now, and you know it's going to be tough. You know, a tough task to stay there. Denver's right there. But so far, they're passing all their tests. Tonight's another one, you know, against Cleveland.
Yeah, James, good team. Not a great team. I really thought Cleveland would, frankly, run away with the East along with the Knicks after the Halliburton injury in last year's playoffs. But Detroit had something to say about that, and Boston's like, hey, not so fast. Obviously, they've had an amazing season and just got Tatum back a couple weeks ago. James, and Geet, it's been an amazing month. I mean, look at who the Lakers have beaten the last few weeks, Geet. Starting with that win against the Knicks on a Sunday. They beat Minnesota. They beat Denver. They won those 2 critical games in Houston, and the Miami one on the back-to-back after that second game in Houston. And if you're the Lakers, if you're JJ Redick, you want to tell this team, go out on a strong note. I mean, the Lakers were hanging out in 6th just a few weeks ago in the West, and there's always a small chance they could have dropped into that play-in tournament. Obviously, that's not a worry now. Go out on a strong note. Turn that page on April when the real games begin about halfway through it.
All right, for more, let's check in with Mike Trudell joining us from Crypto.com Arena. Mike, it's going to be a fun one tonight. What do we got?
No doubt, Geeter. Welcome to downtown Los Angeles. So, look, it's usually a good sign when we see LeBron on the court warming up. We won't know for sure until he gets in the back and talks to Mike and everybody, and they figure it out. But, again, a good sign. Just was watching him shoot. Looks pretty good. So, hopeful on LeBron. You mentioned this is a tricky game to miss Marcus Smart, as all are, but the last 3 opponents are 3 of the worst in the league record-wise. Tonight, obviously, not the case with Cleveland. And Donovan Mitchell, so explosive on the perimeter. That's the guy that you'd probably want Marcus Smart on. What can they do around it? Well, one thing that helps is getting Luka Doncic back after he missed last game. Now, with that said, this is a different Cleveland team from the one that the Lakers saw a couple of months ago back in Ohio. Of course, all the acquisitions at the trade deadline, James Harden, Dennis Schroeder, Keon Ellis, all playing prominent roles now. So here's how JJ Redick described what to expect from the Cavs.
Higher volume pick and roll, higher volume ISO. I think that's natural when you add a guy like James Harden, who's just continues to play at a really high level. And Mitchell obviously is one of the most dynamic offensive players in the NBA. Ellis has given them a nice boost. I think the Struce coming back. He's been ultra aggressive and shooting the ball really well. So a lot of weapons, even with a few guys out that are normally in their rotation. But it starts with Mitchell and Harden.
At kind of the beginning of this hot stretch that you guys had, you were starting to beat teams with good records, which had been kind of a rarity over the first half of the season. Now you have these next 2 games against not only teams with good records, but teams that beat your group handily. Is there a measuring stick quality to now playing these two games, specifically tonight and against OKC, with kind of this group that you guys are playing a different style or better basketball than you were in the past?
I think it's easy to write that story, and I don't mean that in like a negative way. I think it's easy to write that. I think where our group has been really good, starting probably post first Indiana game, was just really putting an emphasis on building our playoff mentality, understanding the importance of every game, every possession, trying to find more consistency within the game, and building those habits at a really high level. And I truthfully, outside of a couple stretches, we've played 3 straight teams that are not in the playoffs, and we've taken care of business, and we've played the right way with the requisite effort, and that's what we need tonight. It will be a little more difficult tonight, yes, but it's more about just us continuing to build that mentality.
All right, interesting perspective as always from JJ Redick. And Geeter, that is a talking point that you think about. 3 straight games against teams that are amongst the worst in the league record-wise. You don't want to fall into playing at that level, but the Lakers, for the most part, did take care of business and had their foot on the gas pedal. Brooklyn played well, played super hard, and they kind of hung around, but in the fourth quarter, the Lakers pulled away, and then really were pretty consistent against Washington. So we'll see all of that applies tonight, plus a tougher back-to-back for Cleveland last night. They came in from Utah. That was the Lakers on a back-to-back, but they don't have that excuse tonight, right? Cleveland should be even more tired.
All right, Mike, appreciate that. Great stuff. Have fun down there. Lakers and the Cavs tipping off 7:30 right here on Spectrum Sportsnet. DeAndre Ayton getting warmed up for tonight's game. He was perfect in last night's win over the Wizards. 12 points to go along with 7 boards and 3 blocks. We'll see if he can stay hot tonight versus the Cavs' impressive front line.